Do you have any idea how many times I've tried to film this video and I just keep restarting it because I get so chatty? It's September 2nd already, so this is my update for August, but I didn't film anything from last month because it was the last month of summer break. We were so busy just doing things with the kids, and then also we have these two structures on our property that, while they are structurally sound, they were aesthetically absolute eyesores, and they just needed to be restored and repainted and everything. So I'll actually show you guys some pictures. This would be our carport. We don't actually park in it. We just treat it as a shed. But it's still very valuable storage space for like farm stuff and whatever. So we restored that one. And then this is what we call the hobby house. It's like this multi-purpose house actually on our property, but we use it as storage for all of like my husband's expensive tools and stuff. And then we have the chicken coop and the goat barn and the root cellar all compartmentalized in it. So that's all been like restored and stuff, but it totally smoked us. It took us 2 weeks to do this project because it was just my husband and I, and we were having to like trade off with childcare and stuff. So yeah, like my upper body is still so sore, and my wrist honestly has not been the same since doing this project, but feels good to have it done. But we were super busy, and so I didn't really film anything. And to be honest, I took a week and a half off of the gym, obviously because we were working sun up to sundown on these buildings, and kind of let loose on my diet a little. Let's just say I was fueling to perform last month. So I have no idea how that's going to translate to my weigh-in and my progress pictures and my measurements and stuff. But like I said, it is September 2nd, and I have not done those yet because Aunt Flo just arrived a couple days ago, so I'm gonna wait for that to pass, and then in the next clip that you all see, which will probably be in 2 days, I will do all those things and we'll see what the damage done is. But I have since gotten back in the gym, and my workouts have been really good, and I'm back on track with my nutrition plan and everything, so that's all good. In terms of just general life, I have two things that are going on. The first is work related, and the second is hormone related. And I thought I'd just talk about both of them now for a couple minutes because it would be, I guess, nice to store the memories and kind of document the process of what I'm about to embark on. But in terms of the job thing, I guess it's just me expressing my frustration because I've only been unemployed since mid-June, and it's been like 2.5 months now, and those were the peak summer months in Sweden. So if you know anything about Sweden, in the summer, life shuts down, everybody goes on vacation, so it's been really hard to find jobs to apply to, and I literally just have not heard back from at least 80% of them. I've heard back from a few of them. The majority of them were just like, sorry, we're moving on with other candidates, whatever, but I did have one where they said that they are putting a hold on recruiting for the position. And then the other one I got was from a recruiting agency who said they would be in touch with me once the position they're recruiting for actually finally does become open. Wasn't technically a no, but then again, I don't actually know if they're going to get back in touch with me and just say, sorry, no, we've decided to go with other candidates. So I don't know. It's all so humbling, to be very honest, because I've been working since I was 15 and I have literally never not gotten a job I've applied for. The first 3 jobs I got were just, entry level. I was an ice cream scooper when I was 15, got a job at the local drugstore when I was 16, got a job at my church when I was like 18, 19, applications, got the job. And then every other position I've gotten was either through like networking. People knew someone, got my resume to whoever was hiring, and I got the job, or through headhunters. So like I've never had to go through an application process and just get no's, like many of them. So, it's like, just kind of contributing to my whole midlife crisis vibe I've got going on over here, but whatever. And then the hormone related thing, the whole premise of this fitness stage I'm in, this muscle building phase I'm going through or whatever, is that I'm sort of in a race against time. I literally am calling this thing I'm doing muscles before menopause. I have sensed for a while that I was probably going to go through perimenopause and menopause earlier than average. It's just been, and I've talked about this in my video kicking off this journey I'm on. So if you want to go back to that, I'll link it in the comments. But I have like noticed things changing dramatically for me year over year since I was 35, but it's been hard to identify what the actual issue has been because I've had 8 pregnancies since I was 35 and 2 breastfeeding journeys, 2 postpartums, etc., and all of the sleep deprivation that goes with having 3 kids in your mid to late 30s. So it's been very easy to write off all the things I've increasingly felt with just sleep deprivation, hormones, general life overwhelm, and that sort of thing. But when I had talked to my mom about a year ago and she told me that she was fully postmenopausal by the time she was 41, that was sort of like a big light bulb for me. Like, okay, maybe I don't have as much time as I statistically thought I had. And now that I'm a year and a half, or I guess you could say like a year out from any pregnancy, but a year and a half out from the true depths of being sleep deprived and breastfeeding and everything like that, like I've established a sort of normalcy back in my life. Now I can really see, wow, I am experiencing things in my body that definitely are different from my previous norm, or things are getting much, much worse. And so, but the thing is before I ever decided to go to a care provider and seek help, I just sort of felt like I was this boy crying wolf, like, oh, it must be perimenopause, when maybe it's not, maybe I just am a basket case and stressed out in my life, and I don't know, maybe it is nothing. Sorry, you guys, we have flies in the house, and by the way, I'm covered in paint, so just forgive me for my shambles as usual. I've been waiting for my cycles to go wonky. I know that's not the main sign of you going through this transition in life, but it seems to be at the top of everyone's list. So it's sort of the one thing I've been waiting to see changes in before I really start putting the pieces together and ask for help. Because here in Sweden, I know that's the first question they're going to ask.
Well, are your cycles irregular or whatever?
And I'm going to be like, no, they're still regular. And then they're going to be like,
okay, go home and take a Tylenol and come back in a couple years.
So I'll get to my cycle changes that I'm experiencing now in a minute. But the main things I have been experiencing, as you all know if you've been following me, is like dramatically increasing anxiety. I know I'm a little high strung and I have had anxiety issues in the past, but it's dramatic. Year over year, the increase in that. My insomnia, the night sweats, which I thought were sort of regular to my cycles, but apparently they're not. And they definitely started around my mid 30s and have gotten worse. Fatigue, crazy fatigue, all day long fatigue. And I do have some achy joints now, aches and pains. Again, is that normal? I mean, I'm lifting super heavy. That could just be explained away by that. But the brain fog, you guys. Loss of concentration, loss of memory, massive brain fog to the tune of me going like this multiple times per day. Megan, think. Megan, remember, what are you doing? Like I literally I do that multiple times a day. Everything goes blank. And like, this has been a problem for a while. And I used to honestly, genuinely think I had undiagnosed ADHD or that I was just a horrible, mindless, careless employee because despite taking meticulous notes and keeping lots of lists, like I have to keep lists to remember and stay on track, that's all fine and well. People would ask me, Megan, did you do this, that, whatever? And I just can't tell you. I don't know. And I couldn't figure out why I didn't know. And I thought it was because of the sleep deprivation or the postpartum. Like, I've been through the wash cycle many times over the past few years. I thought it was just because of that, but it's not, because I don't have those things to use as excuses anymore. And the issue was very crazily there still. And lots of other things. I have a whole list on my phone of symptoms and everything like that. And like, despite keeping a list, I'd have to reference that list to tell you guys what I'm feeling on a daily basis, because I just don't even remember. So I don't know. I just thought I'd open up that conversation now, because I sort of knew this was bound to happen eventually. And I want to document what my experience is like, just for me as a woman, but also me as a woman going through this in Sweden, because I know it's difficult to go through perimenopause and menopause anywhere in the world, because it seems like nobody is educated on it. But here in Sweden, like, they just don't prescribe you anything. And if you guys think the US is bad, like, multiply that by 100, and then you've got Sweden. They're just so anti-prescribing anything, and it's impossible to get into a doctor. Like, you have to go privately. From everything I've read, you just have to go privately to get any kind of quality care. And that costs hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars, thousands of crowns to go in. Like, the local gynecological unit that I would go to, it's where I went for all of my private ultrasounds when I was pregnant and everything like that. It's 3,300 crowns for an appointment with a gynecologist to talk about this kind of stuff. And I don't have a job, so I don't have the disposable income for that. So I'm sort of in a tough spot right now. But anyway, I just thought I'd open it up and talk about these things, because whether I like it or not, I'm about to go through it, and I don't want to. I don't want to do this. Like, I don't want to do menopause. Do you guys know? Does anyone know? Like, nobody talks about how horrible this is. Like, I know there's a lot of people who get lucky and get away with minimal symptoms and stuff, but for the most part, like what you read online, the stories of people saying that they had a gay old time and it was easy and this and that and whatever is few and far between. And the majority of people talk about these war stories. And I forgot to add the overall impact and long-term implications of, like, not having estrogen in the body anymore, and what that does to the neurological system and the cardiovascular system and literally like every system in the body. And I'm really scared, and I don't want to do it. So I'm trying to educate myself and stay proactive. And, you know, like, I want to get some blood tests done. I want to see where my cholesterol and insulin sensitivity is. I want to have baselines. I want to have that information so that I'm able to make dietary changes as necessary, and I'm able to see the way things are changing in my body. But they don't do annual health checks here. I can't just call the doctor and say, hey, can you check my blood cholesterol levels, because I just want to know. They're going to be like,
Sorry, take a hike. Come back when you're 60.
Again, I could pay for it privately, and I'm going to eventually. It's like the thing I'm going to treat myself to when I finally get a job is like, congratulations, now you can go see how far into the process of dying you are. Like, what is this life? I cannot wait to share my journey through perimenopause and menopause, because I promise you guys, I'm going to turn it into a comedy, and we're going to have so much fun with it, because I'm so sick of being scared of it. I'm so sick of being scared about it. We're going to go through this with courage and gratitude, because, you know, like, the whole thing about menopause, I think we're only one of two mammals that even lives long enough to go through it. It's a blessing, okay? It is a reminder that, wow, I've like lived beyond my natural life expectancy, the way the world, the way Mother Nature sort of designed us to live. I should be with one foot under the ground maybe by now. I'm just trying to flip the mindset on it, because I'm sick of being scared of it. So this is long enough. Let's cut the clip and fast forward to weigh-in measurements, progress pictures, and y'all can laugh at me, laugh with me through these things, because I am fluffy AF now, and there's just very little definition. But you know what? Should I do this now, or should I do it when I'm doing my weigh-in and measurements? I will just say that despite being as fluffy as I am hard too. Like, my phone died, so let me just show you guys what I'm talking about here. Watch. There's very little jiggle, at least like on my legs, and let me check my arms. Like when I flex, my appendages at least, which admittedly is not the place I store fat first. I store it, I've got the standard spare tire, but like at least my appendages, for as much weight as I'm gaining, like I feel pretty solid right now. How do you like that? I'm just going to spank myself on camera. But like, I feel good about those parts of my body, but before I switch to like still images of my progress pictures, let me just show you guys what I'm working with in terms of like where I do collect body fat, so you see what I'm talking about, and also so I have the memories for myself, because like I said on Instagram, I want to be able to look back on this. I fail a lot of the time at storing and documenting the bad stuff because it's humbling. You don't want to show it and stuff, but then I never have anything good to look back on to be like, wow, I really have changed so much. Like I don't want the only pictures and images I have saved pictures of me flexing, in a bikini when I'm like just still images, I want the 360 view and memory and stuff to look back on. So this is what I'm talking about. I'm going to put the microphone down. Now, that's not me flexing, of course. So I always am flexing in my progress pictures. And I do that just so I can actually see what I'm trying to do with my body. But when I'm just standing still, like I have this, look at this, like I have this whole thing here. And when I'm deep into my diets, I can barely pinch this. I have videos of me doing it in my, when I'm in diet phases. So this is what I'm talking about. This is what I have put on here, is this bit on my hips, and of course like my belly now. So, it's humbling. It is what it is. It's all part of the territory, and I just have to remind myself that despite feeling this and seeing it and feeling my clothes get tighter, I remind myself that I also have this, and like this is the stuff let's see if I can back up, that I am building. And I feel like I'm really putting on some good mass on my legs. It's hard for me to show at this angle. So anyway, let's cut to measurements, weigh in, etc., and we'll close out this month, okay? Okay, fam bam, it is September 4th. Let's do measurements. Okay, so I crunched the numbers, and here are my measurements, and this is going to be my current August month-end measurements, and then in the brackets, that's going to be plus or minus the change from last month. And I'm kind of all over the place. For the starters, I weighed in at 71.7 kilo this morning, which is a perfect 1 kilo gain for the month, which is not bad. It could have been far worse, to be honest. My goal technically was to only gain half a kilo this month. So, I doubled that, but whatever. It is what it is. YOLO, next month, this month is a new month. And then I'm sure the rest of these things have a little bit to do with measuring variability, but I'm measuring 1 centimeter less on my hips than I was last month. I'm measuring 4 centimeters more on my waist than I was last month. Underbust is dumb. Like last month I was 2 centimeters less. This month I'm 1.5 centimeters more. I don't even know why I measure underbust. And then my bust, this is the first time I've measured it in many months, so I have no data point to reference that against. But my glutes, I gained 2.5 centimeters on them, so I'm stoked about that. And my thigh, I'm up 1.5 centimeters, which I'm also really, really excited about because I don't think that's fat gain. I think that is mass gain. I've been really focusing on cranking it on my legs. Biceps are the same. It's like I'm never going to grow bigger biceps, whatever. So I'm going to put up my progress pictures now and I'll just talk over them. I feel like, yeah, I can definitely see the like body fat increase around my midsection, but I'm really pleased to see that I still have some really good leg definition and arm definition. I didn't think I was going to be able to start seeing much, but I actually see quite a bit of leg definition in these pictures, and I'm really hoping that just contributes to the story of that I'm gaining the right type of mass in my legs right now. Here are some side-by-side comparisons, I guess, to where I started my bulk 7 months ago versus now. So we'll just flash those up on the screen. But also, I took my weight that I am right now, and I went back in time to see if I had any other periods of time where I had been logging progress, and what did my body look like at other times in my life when I weighed this much. So here's one of them. I was 20 weeks pregnant with Benny when I weighed this much. Interestingly enough, the last time I also weighed this much, I was 2 months in to my 2020 body weight loss, body recomposition journey. And this is the comparison of weighing this much when I very much had a lot of body fat versus now where I have a proportionately much more muscle mass. So that's an interesting way to see how this weight can look two very different ways. And then after this picture, I'm going to pop up the comparison of where I was at the end of October last year when I was missed miscarriage. I had just started my current fitness journey. And so I'll put that up now. This is when I just started my diet, my 3-month, was it 3-month or 4-month? 3-month diet versus now. Those top pictures I weighed 69 point something. Was it 69.15? And then now I currently weigh 71.7. So I am this many kilo heavier than I was last October, a year ago. And again, just really interesting to see the body composition difference despite the weight difference. So thought I would just log those here since I have the pictures and the data. But that's that. So the name of the game for this month is to just truck it through, stay on track with diet now that the kids are back in school and life is sort of regulated and regimented. Just stick to a high protein controlled diet, and hopefully I only gain about 0.5 kilo this month, and maybe I'll put on some centimeters of mass on my arms. Come on, arms. You can do it. My arms. But thanks for joining me, you guys, and I will catch you in just a few weeks because, before we know it, it's going to be September month end. So, see you soon.